2025 new TSA carry-on rules you need to know. Ma'am, is this your bag? That single, seemingly innocent question just made a college kid miss her graduation flight out of Denver last week. Imagine the heartbreak. Why? A half-empty bottle of sunscreen, 4.2 ounces, buried deep in a side pocket. A simple oversight, but in 2025, the TSA isn't just asking politely, they're flagging, photographing, and in some airports, they're instantly fining. This isn't your grandma's security line anymore. We're talking about a whole new era of airport screening, one that's faster, smarter, and, let's be honest, a lot less forgiving. But don't sweat it. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I promise you'll glide through security like a seasoned pro. You'll be on your way while the guy behind you is still fumbling with his belt buckle. Oh, wait, we don't always do that anymore either, do we? Get ready to unlock the secrets to stress-free travel in 2025. Keeping your shoes on. All right, let's kick things off with some truly liberating news. The 20-year nightmare of barefoot linoleum is officially over for most of us. As of July 2025, every federalized checkpoint across the U.S. has been directed to let you keep your low-profile sneakers and dress shoes right on your feet. No more hopping on one foot, trying to balance your carry-on, or exposing your socks with holes in them to the world. This policy change, which officially took effect on July 8, 2025, aims to significantly speed up the screening process and make the airport experience a whole lot more comfortable for travelers. The Department of Homeland Security announced this monumental shift. They emphasized that advancements in screening technology over the past 2 decades have made the shoe removal mandate largely unnecessary. This is a massive win for efficiency, potentially slashing wait times at security checkpoints. So, what does this shoe freedom really mean for you? The general rule is, if your shoes don't have metal shanks or chunky heels thicker than 2 inches, they can stay on. Airports like Denver, Atlanta, and Seattle are already 100% shoe-on, embracing the new protocol fully. Smaller airports like Bozeman are phasing in the changes through September, so you might still encounter a bit of inconsistency. Now, here's a crucial pro tip. If that body scanner outline flashes yellow around your feet, officers can still pull you aside for a shoe swab. It's a random check, but it's a good reminder to wear socks without holes. Remember, while the general policy is shoes on, agents still have the discretion to request shoe removal if something triggers an alert, or for additional screening. Stricter 3-1-1 liquid rules. Remember the classic 3-1-1 mantra? It's now officially 3-1-0 because the emphasis on the 1 in 1 quart bag is more important than ever. You're now strictly limited to 1 single quart-sized bag per passenger for all your liquids, gels, and aerosols. And let me tell you, the TSA is getting serious about this. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a hard rule. That means everything, shampoo, conditioner, lotions, even toothpaste, must be in containers 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters, or smaller. All of them must fit comfortably into that single quart-sized, clear, resealable plastic bag. No cramming it full until the zipper protests, and it definitely needs to close without tape. Anything over a quart, or anything that doesn't fit neatly, is trashed on the spot. Seriously, don't test them. That expensive moisturizer isn't worth the hassle. Now, there are a few blessed exceptions, thank goodness. Medications, baby formula, breast milk, baby food, and contact lens saline still get a free pass. You can bring these in larger quantities, but you absolutely must declare them verbally. Don't just toss them in a bin and hope for the best. The magic words are, "I have medically necessary liquids," or "I have breast milk touch baby formula." Say it loud and clear before your bin even hits the belt. New rules for powders. Let's talk about powders because they're not as innocent as they seem. Anything granular over 12 ounces, that's roughly the size of a soda can, is now going into the same high-alert bucket as liquids. This includes your protein powder, baby formula outside of the declared exceptions, even that fancy matcha you swear by. Why the sudden scrutiny? Because certain powders can mimic explosives under current scanner technology, and the TSA is taking no chances. You can still carry these larger quantities, but be prepared for an extra 5-minute swab test. Last month, we heard a story about a bride whose bulk rose petal bath confetti triggered an explosives trace. If you absolutely need the powder for your trip, consider shipping it ahead to your destination. If you must fly with it, make your life easier. Leave it in its original factory-sealed container with the label clearly visible and keep the scoop inside. Unmarked containers or plastic bags filled with white or tan powders are frequently flagged, especially if they lack commercial labeling. Don't let your supplements or special blends cause a major delay. New battery carry-on policy. This one isn't new, but the enforcement is tighter than ever, and for good reason. If it's rechargeable and bigger than your smartphone, it absolutely, unequivocally rides with you in the cabin. We're talking spare phone chargers, power banks, cordless curling irons, vapes, and even smart luggage where the battery isn't removable. The rule is crystal clear. Spare lithium-ion and lithium metal batteries are no longer allowed in checked bags due to fire risk. Why the strictness? Lithium batteries are sensitive to heat, cold, and damage, which can lead to a fire in the cargo hold. A nightmare scenario. Last year, a checked power bank ignited in the hold of a 787 at Heathrow, causing a major emergency and a huge delay. Flight crews are trained to respond to battery fires in the cabin, where they can be quickly addressed. Fireproof bags for these items are optional, but incredibly smart. If your bag gets gate-checked for whatever reason, you must remove all spare lithium batteries and power banks and keep them with you. The TSA can and will open your bag at the gate if the manifest flags an undeclared battery. Don't be that person. Keep your power banks and spare batteries protected, and never charge devices while they're in your bag during the flight. Facial recognition checkpoints. Get ready for your close-up because airport security is getting a high-tech makeover. Those toaster-sized boxes next to the officer are Cat 2 cameras, or credential authentication technology units. They're now equipped to match your live face to your driver's license photo in under 2 seconds. Think of it as a super fast, super accurate biometric check. As of April 2025, TSA has deployed over 2,100 of these facial recognition-enabled devices at more than 250 U.S. airports, with plans to expand nationwide. Participation isn't technically mandatory, but declining means a manual ID check and a slower process. While you can opt out, some travelers report negative experiences from agents. Atlanta already reports a 45-second average savings per traveler with these systems. Multiply that by Memorial Day volume, and you're talking about hundreds of missed connections prevented per hour. Your biometric data is supposedly deleted within 24 hours and restricted to identity verification, not surveillance. However, privacy advocates still bristle, raising concerns about transparency, consent, and the potential for misuse. They cite reports that 99% of travelers aren't verbally told they can opt out. If the thought of your face being scanned bothers you, print your boarding pass. Mobile wallets often auto-trigger the camera, making it harder to opt out. Real ID is now required. May 7, 2025 came and went, and if your driver's license says not for federal ID, you need a passport or an enhanced ID to fly domestic. This isn't a drill, and the TSA isn't bending for sob stories. The Real ID Act set minimum security standards for state-issued IDs, and after multiple extensions, the enforcement is now firmly in place. This isn't just about flying. A Real ID is also required to access certain federal facilities and military bases. How do you know if you're compliant? Check the upper right corner of your license for the black or gold star. No star, no boarding. Simple as that. If you don't have a star, you'll need another acceptable form of identification, like a U.S. passport or a global entry card. Even TSA pre-check passengers need a Real ID compliant form of identification. The good news is that children under 18 aren't required to provide identification when traveling within the U.S. with a compliant adult. But for adults, this is non-negotiable. Don't risk missing your flight over a non-compliant ID. Heavier fines for violations. Most travelers think confiscation is the worst fate that can befall them at a security checkpoint. Oh, how wrong they are. Confiscation is often just the beginning. We're now in an era of quiet fines, penalties that can hit your wallet harder than you expect. Civil penalties for repeat, prohibited items start at $530 and can climb all the way to $2,250 for a single violation. Bringing a firearm to a security checkpoint can result in civil penalties up to almost $15,000 for a first offense, plus the loss of your TSA pre-check eligibility for 5 years. But here's the kicker. Denver's new handheld ticket writers don't just issue a warning. They email you a payment link before you've even reached the food court. Pay within 30 days, or the fine doubles, and the TSA submits your name to the Federal Treasury offset list. That means the government can intercept your tax refund next spring to cover the unpaid fine. The TSA has the authority to impose civil penalties up to $70,062 per violation per person. That forgotten pocket knife isn't just a minor inconvenience. It could be a costly mistake. New family lanes parents, rejoice. This is one rule change that's actually designed to make your life easier. The neon signage for family lanes is legit. 15 large airports, including Charlotte and Orlando, now staff dedicated belts with stroller-friendly ramps and specially trained officers. This new Families on the Fly program aims to reduce the unique challenges and stress families face during security screening. Kids under 12 can keep their shoes and light jackets on, and most electronics stay inside their backpacks. This is a game changer for parents who usually juggle multiple bags and restless children. It's like a fast pass for families, but without the extra charge. The only catch: you must be in the lane together. No sending Junior through solo while you finish a latte. These lanes are designed for the whole family unit to move through efficiently. Look for the Families on the Fly signs, spreadable foods or liquids. This one catches a lot of people off guard. You might think food is food, but the TSA doesn't always agree. Any spreadable or pourable food item is now treated as a gel, meaning it falls under the same strict 3-1-1 liquid rule. This includes peanut butter, hummus, yogurt, and even creamy brie. Essentially, if you can spill it, spray it, spread it, pump it, or pour it, it's considered a liquid. A 3.6-ounce hummus pouch, for example, earned a Portland foodie a full bag search last week. It seems harmless, but to the scanners, it's just another ambiguous substance. Solid snacks like jerky, trail mix, crackers, or fresh fruit are still unrestricted, so stock up on those. If you must bring something like peanut butter, make sure it's in a container under 3.4 ounces and fits in your single-quart bag. A pro tip for any food item: remove all food products from your carry-on and place them in a separate bin for X-ray screening to avoid additional scrutiny. No firearms in carry-ons. This is a serious one, folks, and the numbers are alarming. The TSA found an unprecedented 1,095 guns in carry-ons in the first half of 2025 alone, an all-time high. This isn't just a mistake. It's a major federal offense with severe consequences. If you are a licensed firearm owner and need to travel with your weapon, there's a very specific legal way to do it. It must be unloaded, placed in a locked, hard-sided container, and declared to the airline at the check-in counter. Do anything else, like walking up to the X-ray with a Glock in your tote, and you're staring down arrest, a federal fine up to $15,000, and possible loss of TSA pre-check for life. Even replica guns, BB guns, and anything that looks like a weapon is banned from carry-ons. The civil penalty depends on the type of item and where it's discovered. This isn't just about delaying your flight. It's about potentially derailing your entire life. Before you leave for the airport, double-check every pocket, every compartment, and every bag. Be meticulous. When to remove your belt. So, we've got the good news about keeping our shoes on, which is fantastic. But what about belts? It's a bit more nuanced. Metal-free belts can generally stay on, which is a blessing for avoiding that awkward fumbling dance. However, anything with a chunky buckle bigger than a credit card is still likely to trigger the body scanner. If it sets off the alarm, you'll be asked to remove it, and you'll likely get a pat-down. Here's a pro move: wear a lightweight nylon belt through security. It's unlikely to have any metal components that will trigger an alarm. Once you're airside, you can easily swap it out for your stylish leather belt in the restroom if you prefer. This simple trick saves you from juggling your bins and your dignity. Permitted personal items. You might be surprised by some of the seemingly innocuous items that are still perfectly legal in your carry-on. Round-bladed butter knives, disposable razors, and nail clippers with blades under 4 inches are typically permitted. However, individual officers still have discretion. What one agent waves through, another might scrutinize. This inconsistency is a reality of airport security. If you need absolute certainty, especially for items like scissors, it's often safer to mail them ahead to your destination. Or just buy a cheap pair once you arrive. It saves you the potential hassle, the bag search, and the risk of having an expensive item confiscated. When in doubt, leave it out or ship it. Global entry and pre-check upgrades. For frequent flyers, global entry and TSA pre-check are getting even sweeter in 2025. If you're applying after July 2025, you'll get a digital ID QR code that syncs seamlessly with those new Cat2 facial recognition units, shaving another 10 seconds off your security process. This touchless ID system is already available at several major airports for pre-check members. And for renewals, say goodbye to those tedious trips to an enrollment center. Renewals now require just a 5-minute virtual interview, making the process incredibly convenient. While global entry's price increased to $120 and pre-check costs around $85, the benefits are undeniable. If you fly more than twice a year, it pays for itself. Pre-check still means no shoe removal, no liquids or laptops out of your bag, and shorter lines. Plus, some major credit cards even cover the application fee. Random gate screenings. Just because you've made it through the main security checkpoint doesn't mean you're entirely in the clear. Random gate swabs are up 40% in 2025. Agents can and will still stop you at the jet bridge for an additional explosives trace detection swab of your hands or your carry-on. This is part of the layered security approach the TSA employs, adding an unpredictable element to enhance safety. This means you need to stay vigilant right up until you step onto the plane. Keep your liquids and powders reachable, even if they're in your carry-on. You don't want to be the person frantically tearing apart your perfectly packed roller bag in front of a line of impatient commuters. Be prepared and be polite. The Alarm-cascade rule. This is perhaps the most surprising and potentially costly new rule, so listen up. Starting October 1st, 2025, any carry-on bag that triggers the new CT Alarm-cascade 3 separate times will automatically get gate-checked. No discussion, no exceptions. What's an alarm-cascade? It means the new, highly sensitive CT scanners are repeatedly detecting something ambiguous or potentially concerning. This could be anything from a dense mass of charging cables to a strangely shaped souvenir. Even an innocent stack of charging cables, when tangled together, can look suspicious to these advanced machines. This could force a checked bag fee you never budgeted for. To avoid this, you need to pack smart. Pack tidy, layering clothes in neat rectangles. Keep dense electronics, like laptops, tablets, and power banks, on top where the algorithm can eyeball them fast. Don't bury them under a pile of clothes. The goal is to make your bag as readable as possible for the CT scanner, or be ready to say goodbye to your carry-on at the gate. Conclusion. Here's the bottom line, travelers. Airport security in 2025 is faster, smarter, and definitely less forgiving. But it doesn't have to be a nightmare. Keep your shoes on, ensure your liquids are in one single quart-sized bag, and keep those lithium batteries in the cabin with you. Get your face ready for its close-up, double-check your ID for that crucial star, and leave the firearms at home or check them properly. Do all that, and you'll sail through security. Got a wild TSA story or a clever hack? Drop it in the comments below. Your story might just save the next traveler a headache. Safe flights, light bags, and I'll see you at the gate.